Oh yeah, it's time to go to trial. Well, it's almost time. Ah, right. Sorry, Miss Faye. Just looking over the evidence. I'll be fine. I won't let them down. Deep breaths. Careful with that look on your face, Apollo. Our client's watching. Ah, sorry. Oh, no. It's okay. Don't worry. It'll be alright. I need to stay with Mystic Maya. I can't leave her all alone. I just can't. Anyone could win this, it would be you, right? Of course, Pearly. We even have proof of some sort We even have proof of some sort of setup this time. Maybe you could have omitted the last two words there. Alright. Just please, catch the right person. Need to be sure this can't happen again. Eh? I'm sure it'll make Mystic Maya feel a lot better knowing that whoever it is can't hurt us again. And you too, right? Yeah, obviously. Hey, pal. Mr. Gumshoe! Hello there, pal. Good to see you. You holding up well? Nights in those cells are no fun, that's for sure. I'm okay. Good to hear. You two think you're ready for the trial today? As ready as we can be. Don't worry about us, Gumshoe. Gumshoe, about the teacup, right? Do you have the test results? I do, pal. Don't want to start on a downer, but, well, we didn't find anything. Nothing? Nothing at all? Nope. It was just normal lavender tea as far as we can tell. Okay. That's not good. Damn it. Gotta be missing something. It's another reason someone would tamper with the window. Or... Alright, pal. That's just what the results say. I need to apologize, Detective. Thanks, but I knew that, pal. Gumshoe self-esteem. Miss Faye, what's wrong? Oh. Back again, I see. Godot. You, detective. Huh? Have you checked through the detention center's visitor records for one Miss Morgan Fay? Oh yeah, the prosecution's already gone through those, pal. Oh no. Motive? All of them. Well, just the months surrounding when, well... You're going to bring the court the full documentation. I want records from every single day she was in there. Do you understand me? Yes, sir. Will do. Good. That might help you two. I'll be leaving now. And where do you think you're going? That was all I planned for. Now, if you excuse me. No, you don't. Ah! Let go of my tie. Must keep straight face. If you're going to make fun of me, just get it over with. Did you really think we'd just let you drop in here and leave without more than a few words? I don't exactly want to be here, thank you very much. And why is that? Were you trying to help us, tipping off the detective like that? You know, your apprentice wanted to work with you on this case. Mr. Godot, I'd still, be willing to let you join us. Don't lie to yourself, kid. You hate me, don't you? Mr. Godot? Just ignore this, little miss. Let me walk out and you all won't have to deal with me anymore. But you... How do you know about Mother? Oh. He was involved in one of the Morgan Fay cases. That still happened. You can't just say something like that and leave. You want to help out with the case, don't you? You don't need me. Some part of you wants to work this case with me. It has to. I should have known better than to drag myself here. Well, do you want to help or not? What is it, Diego? You keep calling me that name. I'm not doing this. You got that? Of course, Mr. Godot. You'll really help? Don't look at me like that. It's not like I'm going to be a huge asset to the case. This case is like a newly discovered blend. When man first tasted. Oh no. He's so awkward around me, he doesn't even have any coffee puns. When I found. Damn it. The fence. We know, we're coming. Kid, couldn't you have at least gotten her something better to wear? Sorry. That's what's distracting you? Hang in there for us, okay, Pearly? Okay. Well, come on, you two. We can't afford to lag behind. Let's get going. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Pearl Fay. I trust the prosecution has found a motive for his case. I see 3 of you. Mr. DeBest. I see the fence has a new addition. Hello there, prodigy boy. Protégé. Prodigy. 4 times. I only messed up 4 times. Your memory can be as weak as a watered-down brew, but it benefits you. I'm sure it was more than 4. Not his prodigy. He's not my dad. I take it you two have met in court before? You could say that. Why is he here? He's my boss. You could have told me that! Sorry? Mark my words. I'll beat you eventually, Mr. Godot. But our search for the truth holds the first most priority, especially in today's trial. Oh, is the pampered protege still parroting those same old wisdoms? Unlike you, I don't need to coat my words in metaphor in order to sound cool. I just coat them in simile. And look who's talking about parroting the same old wisdoms. Can we move on, please? Yes, that would be appreciated. The defense is ready, by the way? Your motive, Mr. DeBest. Right, my apologies, Your Honor. As you may know, the Fae clan has been subject to several power struggles in the past. We touched on it briefly in the previous trial in regards to our victim. But the prosecution would like to go into more detail. Your Honor, yesterday I collected all the documentation I could find about such disputes. As you can see, they can get quite grisly. This is quite a large file. I assume the defense is already in the know. We've done our research. That makes things easier. As it turns out, the defendant has been involved in this part of the clan's history. For her sake, I shall simply provide you with their police files, Your Honor. Though it was years in the past, let it be known that our defendant still resents her involvement in this plot. After all, it targeted her dear cousin and legal guardian, Miss Maya Fay. You've seen how much she loves her cousin, have you not? We can't say much for certain about the victim, but she was a low-ranking member of the Branch family. We have evidence that she might have held resentment against the main bloodline. That's right, her channeling request. If you take a look at the files, it should be clear why our defendant would hate anyone of that sort. I see. My deductions do turn out to be true. I hope we may hear some elaboration from the defendant. But for now, I have a point to prove. I'd like to proceed with my argument, Your Honor. It's right, Mr. DeBest. I think the defense would like to present its own findings. Are you sure? I don't know exactly what happened. The teacup wasn't laced with anything. This is our lead. You know, there was some kind of sort of outside force at play. One way or another, we need to follow through on what we've found. Very well. I have a feeling if I don't let you bring it up now, I'm going to hear about it later anyway. I'll let you argue your findings to the court. For your client's sake, let's hope they're sound. Right. They will be? Where do I start with this? Let's start with what we know the most about for sure. Someone tampered with Mr. Season's house. Right. The evidence directly contradicts the only motive I can think of. And let's hear his story out one more time and try to figure out our mystery, shall we? Would the prosecution allow the defense to call their own witness? Very well. Hello again. Objection! What are we objecting for? I reverse my previous statement. Strike it for the record. Mr. Best, you consented to letting the defense show us their findings. I didn't know it would involve this guy. How annoying is the old man? We're hoping he'll be a little better this time. I'll be good, I promise. Don't give me that attitude, you... Mr. Season. Right, sorry. Can you please get this over with quickly, defense? I'll try. Mr. Season, if you could testify about your tea time on the day of the incident. Between his words and what we can show to the court, I believe it will make our theory undeniably clear. Of course, dear. Let's see here. Sunday's tea time. Evening tea. I always try to have some tea right before sunset. It's an old family tradition. We wake up with the sun and fall asleep with it too, so I always add a sprig of lavender around then. Usually set the teapot out by the window to cool down a little bit before I drink it. I am getting old, but I swear it doesn't usually knock me out like that. I've had my tea around 30-40 minutes before the crash. Yeah, that sounds right. Your testimony seems mundane enough, but I'm sure the defense is about to prove us otherwise, right? Of course! Don't disappoint me now. Do you really think I'd falter this early into the trial? Because I sure do. It's okay that you don't know all the facts yet, Apollo. The window has yet to be tampered with for a reason, and this is our chance to figure it out and prove it. Real learning comes from doing. You better not think you can win a trial just from over-preparing. You can drink from the same cup time and time again, but one day it'll throw you a curveball. Thanks. Advice time with Godot. Why did my health not get restored? Do this every day. Every day, that's right. Not a tradition if it's not on a schedule, isn't it? I guess not. So this knowledge would be widespread across the village. Pretty much, it's not exactly a hard bit of info to get your hands on. See, in a small village, you gotta care about people. Gotta build a reputation. I bet you could ask anyone in the village. Where can I get some hospitality and free tea? They'd bring you straight to me. You're not wrong. Someone's a little too proud of that, if you ask me. Lavender, that's a sleeping aid, right? Yes. For me, it's lavender-based teas in the evening and green tea in the mornings. Green tea can be good with some dried ginger. I've been more adjusted to Earl Grey in the mornings. You guys do know you're towing the line talking about drinks like this, right? Towing the line? You make it sound like you're afraid of a few metaphors, kid. Not that confusing, Mr. Justice. I didn't say they were confusing. Mr. Justice, is this conversation about everyone's preference in drinks really necessary? No, I just wanted to avoid more coffee puns. Sure, why not? It might be. Well, you never know, Your Honor. It could be relevant to the case. Put it now. Possibly? You're so confident. You'll be able to show us evidence, won't you? Right, Oh, okay. I have evidence to show. Oops, no evidence. Or there's something else. We might be onto something there. But we'll come back to that. I don't think we have evidence to show. Oops, no evidence. No, I don't think I have anything. Don't strain yourself. You can't figure something out, take a break and think the testimony over. Nothing in this world that can survive when there's too much heat. But there should never be any shame in taking a moment to cool down. Yeah, that. He's trying to be helpful. Godot with the good advice. Try. The same window you said you'd witnessed the crash from. Ah, yes, and also the very same window that you two found. Not yet, Mr. Season. Want to present the evidence. So your theory has something to do with that window you put the T near, huh? But I can take a guess as to what it is. No, I can do it. Do it then. I'm getting to it. Give me a break. Oh, don't take so long. Fine. Calm down now. Oh, come on. Let there be some defense-prosecutor rivalry. Nothing inspires the flame in a rookie's heart like the old beckoning call of competition. I'm not that much of a rookie. No thanks to you. So we could present the window theory there, or the previous statement, or describe to us how exactly falling asleep was like. What do you mean? Did it come over you all at once, or was it gradual? I don't think I have a giant bruise on my noggin. No, do I? So it was a gradual process. I think so, yes. Usually the tea making me a little sleepy, so I didn't notice at first. After a while, I couldn't keep my eyes open. It felt like I had to go sit down on the couch, and the next thing I knew, I'd passed out. Alright, thank you. And when exactly did you fall asleep? I think it was, 10-ish minutes before the train pulled into the station? How do you know that for sure, witness? Well, to be honest, I was kind of waiting for the train to arrive. I always worry about those girls when they go out to the city. They can come back in such a bad mood sometimes. So I made sure to save a little bit of tea for when they got back. You know, just in case they wanted to swing by, have a little tea time. Cheer up a bit. That's not bad, is it? Right? It's like he expects to be insulted. It's quite fine to look after family friends, Mr. Season. Ah, good. Good to hear it. The first part should be easy. You've just got to show the court what we found. Proving the rest of what it means, that'll be the challenge. Right, we need to present our theory to the court somehow. Even if it's half constructed. Better get constructed now, then. Do you even know what our theory is? Man who's never drank, that's a no. No. Sorry, no time to get you caught up. I like to think my brain hasn't completely rotted away just yet. Let's continue the trial and I'll catch on. On it. Okay, now the obvious point here. Objection! The set of screws. I'd like the court to take a look at these, please. Some screws. These were found lodged in Mr. Season's window. What's the first thing you notice about them? Well, their size, obviously. They look far longer than would be needed to secure a window. That's the first thing we thought, too. They were too big for the holes drilled into Mr. Season's window, that's for sure. I see where this is going. We took them out, we were able to move the window frame. But just what is across from that window frame? Mr. Season's teapot. So these are your proof that the window was tampered with. I see. Given the timing of when Mr. Season passed out, you believe that man was drugged, don't you? Well, that's the thing. We had the teacup tested for any traditional sleeping drug, and well, we found nothing. Ah, so that's why we're going through this song and dance. You're still figuring out your argument. You don't have to say it like that! Oh, but isn't it our jobs to expose the truth? The truth of the case. Yeah. Well, then you best get to figuring out your own reasoning. Show us why the window was tampered with. Or I'll be more than happy to dismiss this witness of yours. Yeah, we all saw yesterday. Twitters usually knock me out like that. I suppose we'll go back to... Yeah, it might be. What happens if we say there's something else? Your Honor, even if I have no evidence to show, I think there's still a chance all this talk about tea could be, at least a little important? How exactly is that? It'll make sense if we look at... Oh, okay, we're getting to thinking. Sleep schedule, yesterday's testimony, current testimony. It's current testimony. Dr. Mr. Season said that he drank lavender tea that day. There's another statement he's made that I'd like to call attention to in conjunction with this one. Very well. Which statement, Mr. Justice? That's a hell of a list of choices. Statement A, Statement B, or Statement C? Fuck yeah, it's Statement C. Oh, okay. No. Okay, this is the one we need. Nope, this is the one we need. This is Mr. Season's own words. Don't they prove why he passed out that day? They do? It's quite the conclusion, Mr. Justice. It is? Yes, it's very impressive. So impressive that I can't follow your logic at all. Apollo, can you maybe think before you speak next time? Sorry. Oh, great. Is it this? Sure what happened? Sure. Okay, there we go. The Season had a lavender tea that day, correct? Yes, lavender, every night. Yes, it's tradition. Stop being sassy, boy. What's more, lavender tea is a relaxant. Yeah, I bet everyone knows that much. Now tell me, how long does it take for tea to have an effect on the body? Depending on the tea, it reaches its peak at effectiveness at around 40 to 50 minutes. Would my statement not have accomplished the same goal? My statement about how, I swear it doesn't knock me out that quickly. I guess if you're saying that it only failed due to it being, his opinion, then okay, but I feel like you could have made that work. This Season, not to insult your health again, but in your old age, how potent are that effects of that tea on your body? What would happen if you added too much of an ingredient? Alright. Mr. Justice, are you really trying to say this man was knocked out from his tea alone? What if more lavender was stuck into the tea? Forensics wouldn't pick up on anything. Are you even listening to yourself? Or can you not hear yourself over the sound of your own voice? What you just said doesn't... Your theory is preposterous. It's not like I passed out all at once. I felt a little sleepy, then a bit more, and then suddenly I just knew I had to lay down. I don't think most people would opt to use a sedative with effects that were that delayed. Unless it had some other benefit, Mr. DeBest. Like, say, not being picked up by any tests? But adding more lavender is a huge gamble. There's no guarantee it would work. Think about the setting. Have you been in Mr. Season's herbery? Yeah. Can't we open a window in here or something? Oh, is a little incense too much for you, Paolo? Little? I can hardly breathe in here. How is this place not burned down yet? It's not just the tea that soothes your body. Even the incense could have contributed to knocking him out. Mr. Season, has your tea ever been too much for you before? Well, I have had to add a bit less lavender in my old age. I used to go through it like crazy. But now, from time to time, it can be too much for me. All this is meaningless if nobody knew about it. Mr. Season, did you tell anyone in the village about this? Yeah, everyone. I told them all. You're lying, aren't you? Eh? He's lying. He's lying. He's lying. Fine, I'm lying. There's a possibility, isn't there? Especially since we have proof the window was tampered with. Can't deny it, the screws are suspicious. If you already think they're suspicious, then there's one more thing I want to show you. Take a look at these. More screws. See, okay, I don't think I actually stated my theory on who did it before now. And in this case, based on what we know, it would really work well if the person who knew about Season's tea habits was someone who had tea with him regularly. And we know for sure that Perun visited him often when she made deliveries and had tea with him. She was one of the few outsiders who he was good with. These screws looked like the perfect size for Mr. Season's window. And guess where we found them? They were in the rubble of the crashed train car. And as for our crashed steel beam, it just so happens that the two of the proper screws were missing. Someone swapped the screws in the window with the screws that secured the beam. It's not just the window that was tampered with, but also the murder weapon itself. These screws prove that whoever messed with one messed with the other. Someone deliberately set up this crime. There's no way it was my client. You brought it up yourself, Mr. DeBest. If anyone tampered with the beam, they couldn't have been on the train. Objection! Can't believe you'd forget such an obvious detail, Mr. Justice. All the things to forget, this is a thing that even someone who doesn't know things would know. What? I'll tell you what it is. Sure, the screws suggest that the setup was likely related to the crime. But you just said it. They'd have to be outside the train. Whoever set this up may have been involved in the crime, but they couldn't be our murderer. Oh. Rumble. Why do you have to be so right? Well, it's in my name, after all. I don't want to hear it. What's wrong with my man? The point is that whoever set this up would probably have to have been an accomplice, right? Yeah. You didn't have to explain it for me. So our true murderer could have easily still been the defendant. The possibility isn't so undeniable like the defense claims. It can never be easy. We want to get down to the truth of the matter anyways. We promised Pearl, remember? Don't get caught up on everyone's exact role in the crime just yet, Apollo. We have the most leads on what was done outside the train. So let's figure out who that was first. If we can find our supposed accomplice, we'll be all the closer to the truth. Do you have any theories, kid? All the suspects we know about were on the train that day. Well, unless Mr. Season decided to knock himself out. You want to know how to brew a good coffee? First, you need to line up all the ingredients. Why don't make sure you know all of them? So anyone who knows for sure who would be on the train. There's the conductor, right? He even gave us a list of everyone who bought tickets. Well then, maybe get a bit more information from him. With some luck, we'll be able to narrow down who our tamperer is. Right. Mr. Best, I'm sure you agree with me that no matter who actually committed the crime, we need to find out who our accomplice is. We need to narrow down our pool of suspects. And who would know more about who was or wasn't on the train than the conductor himself? Don't be so high and mighty, I had a similar idea. Sure you did. I'm just as capable of finding this accomplice as you are. Let's just go him to the stand, please. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I must say I'm surprised an encore for the little old me. We're not going to go on about that dagger again, are we? No, that's not what we're here to question you about. There's no guaranteeing it won't come up later. Mr. Reyes, the prosecution and defense have come to suspect that accomplices involved in this crime. The only way either of us can proceed with our arguments is to find out more about this unknown party. But anyone who was on the train that day has an alibi. We need to hear as much as possible about the train's boarding process and the parties involved. That way we can narrow down our suspects. Very well, then. I don't see why that would be a problem if it's a normal part of the job. After all, it wouldn't be gentlemanly to decline. Who did have a ticket? I genuinely don't know where this is going. The last train to Curate departed exactly on schedule at 5 o'clock p.m. Quite a few people boarded at first, but only a few were left as we were coming into the last station. Took our passengers' tickets as they got on board, but I honestly doubt I remember all their faces. Especially since everyone left by the time we got to Curate and was a regular on that train to the village. I can tell you with certainty who was on the train when the crash occurred. But there it is. Ask away. I'll gladly tell you whatever you need to know if it makes you happy with me. Though I'm not sure how this will help you with your whole accomplice mystery. Are you sure you didn't just want to see more of me? Yes, I'm sure. Come on now, Mr. Justice. Isn't it nice to have a witness willing to cooperate now and then? Now and then? Yes, but why did it have to be this one? Oh, the train's usually so reliable, time-wise. Of course they are. I wouldn't so proudly wear my uniform if they were lacking something so simple as reliability. Even for a middle-of-nowhere station like Curate, we're always right on time. Haha. Only you could be that reliable at making coffee, kid. Oh, are we talking about reliability now? Because you were always so good at following through on our mentor's orders, weren't you, Mr. Hotshot? People restrain themselves to the will of others. Their hearts might as well beat someone else's blood. Disobey my boss more. Noted. Let's just focus on the trial. Quite a few people boarded it for today. What is the boarding process like? Whenever we're at a station, people board, I have to leave the locomotive and go check on the new passengers. I introduce myself, if necessary of course, then verify their tickets are legitimate and hand them back. But you're on a tight schedule, aren't you? You can't have time for everyone. Well, people usually can't get that far without a ticket when it comes to the bigger train stations. Checking them over thoroughly is only really important at smaller places where security is lighter. You don't need to see everyone personally at a bigger station. For example, when families come in together, I'll just quickly take all the tickets from one person, no problem. You know what they say, necessity is the mother of invention. I'm not sure that qualifies as an invention. Yeah. You don't remember? Well, it was a lot of people. That wasn't the only train I was conducting that day. Do you think you could recall all the faces you saw on the way to the courthouse this morning? But you interacted with all of them, didn't you? For a few seconds, yes. Look, I'm sorry I can't conveniently remember every single person I saw that day. I gave you the ticket records yesterday. Is that enough for you? I'll bend over backwards only for my passengers, and my passengers alone. Yeah, the ones you forgot about. Here you are being a little hard on them there. But okay. Everyone was a regular. Even Miss Knott. The village is isolated, but it's not like people never leave. I'd seen her a few times before, yes. Though not as much recently, if I recall correctly. Still, I doubt she was as much of a regular as Miss Shears or the Fays. So what? She left the village from time to time, and I distinctly remembered her face. The point is, I may not be able to recall every single face from that day. And now the moment we were waiting for, and that would be? I think you already know this. Can't you just go along with me? Fine. It was your client in the first passenger car. I already said plenty on that subject. Miss Shears was trapped in the cargo car. The victim counts. Well, we all know where she was. Is there anyone who can verify your alibi? Just ask the police officers. They came straight to me. And I mean, how could a train operate without a conductor? Aren't trains somewhat modernized these days? If I recall correctly, conductors aren't as important as details. Conductors are a vital part of a train's imagery. Thinks of a train without a conductor. Geez, someone has a chip on his shoulder. Do you really think this testimony will help us figure out who did this? All we can do is try. Don't just look for the contradictions in this testimony. Huh? It's just a hunch, but you need to find a suspect, don't you? What's a better alibi for our tampering than being on the train itself? So if you can find a method of disproving an alibi. It can't hurt to present. Some way to prove who was really on the train. Do I have anything like that? False. Take a look at... Apollo, what are you doing? I'm, presenting evidence? Okay, we've seen this one before. That's not gonna help us. Sorry, I thought it was onto something. I think you pay closer attention to your co-counsel before making objections, Mr. Justice. Ow. I feel like my stomach just dropped 10 feet. What happens if we present the train diagram here? False. Take a look at this. Okay, I suppose the logic we're supposed to follow here is that... Okay, yeah, I was trying to be too galaxy-brained here. You just start small. And by small, I mean... Maybe you just missed it. Mr. Mr. Rails, do you remember yesterday when you gave me these? The train tickets? What about them? These train tickets act as records, don't they? If you have a ticket, then you had to be on the train. Why else would anyone buy one? However, I think the whole court can agree that the crime that occurred on the day was premeditated. That's what today's evidence suggests, yes. So isn't it only natural that our accomplice would like an easy way to prove that they weren't outside the train? That way they could deflect any accusations if we figured them out. I think the best way to find out who set up the train crash is to figure out who really was on the train that day. The best way to do that is with these train tickets. All I have to do is check the fingerprints. Check the fingerprints of the tickets. Ah, I see. Not bad. Someone wanted to make it look like they were on the train that day, but weren't. They just need someone to turn in their ticket for them. Wait. That means the fingerprints can help us find both the accomplice and the true killer, right? We just have to look for fingerprints that don't belong. Mr. Rails, how well have the tickets been preserved? I've kept my gloves on the whole time before handling them. Very well then. For now, I'll put my trust in you. It can't hurt to give them to forensics. Right away, bailiff. Yes, sir. Get those tickets checked in a flash. Bailiff, away! The results are back, everyone. Settle down. I pushed the man aside with my gut, and my gut instinct told me exactly which lever the brake was. I stopped the train just before we flew past the station. That's how, at the young age of 14, I knew I was meant to live my life on the rails. Oh, I really showed the geezers just because the prosecutor totally zoned out. That's incredible. I wish I could find my calling like that. Oh, you guys were listening? Miss Faye, I moved the bed up to 80. He's 80% lying. 85. I said settle down. Sorry, Your Honor, you can't blame them for getting a little excited. Yes, it was a wonderful story, etc., etc. Wow, even His Honor lost interest. Can we finally hear the results now? Of course. See, it says here that there were no unidentified fingerprints on the tickets. They all belonged to one of the passengers. However, some passengers didn't leave prints. Okay. Oh, it's a list of passengers who probably came in groups. That explains the lack of prints on a few. They could just have prints from whoever gave them to me. Didn't have time to greet everyone individually. Some people just give me tickets for their whole party. Anyone relevant to the case? Let's see. Oh. Seems like the victim's prints were on 2 tickets. Must have brought someone with her. The victim. It's not the person who I thought we'd be looking at. They were on tickets 071 and 072. Those were Olive and Perrine. They came together. 071 and 072. Wait a second, isn't that? Ticket 072 is Miss Shear's ticket. The victim's prints were on her own ticket. On her ticket. It says here that they were the only prints on her ticket. Just the victim's prints. But then comes a point in our lives when we come to see our minds as a prison. Even the most sheltered of hermits needs to know when to look outwards. No point asking ourselves questions just yet. You two have a perfect source of information waiting, don't you? Ah! I knew that! Sure you did, prodigy boy. That was kind of a hard one for my coffee and he's translator, not gonna lie. Please, let's all speak English here. I apologize, Your Honor. It's time for the prosecution to get back to calling witnesses. We've kept her waiting after all. Witness, your name and occupation. Ah, you kept me waiting forever, sweetheart. You have a cute face, but it's really not nice to keep a lady waiting so long. I should have testified yesterday. I apologize. Say it louder. Name and occupation. Oh, you're no fun. I'm Prune Shears. I'm the florist who occasionally ships herbs and flowers out to Kirain Village. Do you know why you're here, Miss Shears? Oh, no idea. Oh, well, these you testify. Ha! Oh, Your Honor. I knew that much. I want something specific from you. Oh, are you trying to be scary now? Calm down. Calm down, it's too tense in there. Let's all get along. So I can finally testify, please. There's been so much fighting. These conditions aren't good for anyone. Miss Shears, I'll just come out and say it. Why were the victim's prints on your train ticket? Excuse me? Miss Knott's prints were on her train ticket and yours weren't. I don't think you can blame me for calling that suspicious. I was wearing gardening gloves that day. I had a shipment to handle. That's the only reason my prints aren't there. What about our dearly departed? Do you have any words for her? I don't know how they got there. Maybe the conductor just messed up handling the tickets. Miss Shears, you can't just leave this unexplained. Oh? Why do you have to be such a mean-spirited child, picking on little old me? I watched the trial yesterday, and this just seems unfair. Mr. Vales hasn't explained that whole dagger business, remember? The dagger was facing the wrong way. You yourself proved it. He hasn't given an explanation for it. Because that's the way it was. It was facing that way. I don't know why the prints are on there. Train ticket and the dagger are completely different. Someone must have just messed with it. You just must have messed with my ticket. Oh, Miss Shears. Now, calm down. This is nothing to yell over. You might have just made an honest mistake. What do you all think these fingerprints even prove? Mr. Shears, someone was outside the train that day. They knocked Miss Sanson out. They caused the beam to topple over. Okay. Dear, are you trying to prove that person was me? I was on the train that day, love. Don't stress yourself like this. Don't want you to mess up this badly, no matter what. No, this won't do. Mr. saw me in the back car that day, and so did your defendant, right? That's true. But why do the tickets... Oh, these are pretty. Got them from Peru a few weeks ago. Actually, maybe a month now. They're really growing beautifully, aren't they? Oh. She knows her stuff, that girl. I don't mind her as much as the others. She even stops in for tea from time to time. Now we're having that recollection? No, it has to be her. Miss Shears, whoever was outside the train that day had to have known Mr. Season. They had to have known about his afternoon tea. And one more thing. I've had a bit less lavender in my old age. Used to go through it like crazy. Now from time to time it can be too much for me. You're the one who ships lavender to him, aren't you? Whoever it was had to know how weak his body was. They had to have known that adding more lavender could have been enough to wipe him out. Well, that's just what your theory says, isn't it? But it sounds like a kind of silly theory to me if you've asked. Poems for creativity, though. Points for creativity, though. Miss Shears, why don't we prove to the feds that you were there, that you were where that day? You've been waiting to testify, haven't you? If he says you weren't on his train, then there should be something wrong with your testimony. Exactly. Let's put this to rest, shall we? Don't worry, I'll try not to embarrass you too much. Ahem. The truth is, love, that I was on that train when it reached the station. A few minutes before we pulled in, I was going back into the cargo car to check on my shipment. That's when I noticed Olive and Pearl heading into the first passenger car. And then while I was checking on the flowers, the train suddenly came to a careening halt. I was trapped in there the whole time. The sweet conductor himself can testify to that. He met me there. Didn't even know what was going on until the power came back on and he made that announcement. Yeah, was that so hard? Could have easily gone up and said that yesterday. There's no need to drag this all out. I'm sure the longer this goes on, the more distress you're putting that little girl under. Don't you all know the first thing about taking care of little ones? Do you really think you can dissuade me with that? Oh, and here I was hoping I could get to you just a little. I just think it's in your best interest not to drag this out too much. Well then, let's not waste any more time, shall we? Yes, let's. When did the train arrive at the station? 7 o'clock p.m. When did it depart? From the station in the city? 5 p.m. How many train cars were there? 2 passenger, 1 cargo, 1 locomotive. What color are the train seats? Red. Look, your dedication to this theory is cute, but I was on that train. You're going to sit there and ask me basic questions for hours until I slip up. It seems cruel to me. I can think of harder questions. Mr. Justice, what color is the couch in the defendant's lobby? How about the court's entrance? How many doors are there? How many seats are there in this gallery? I don't know. I'll let you keep badgering the witness if you can answer my questions accurately. Okay, I see your point. I don't like it, but I see it. Can you go into detail about what you were shipping to the village? No. Well, why not? Sorry, I just wanted to see that look on your face again. Every few months I make a rather large shipment out to Currain, various plants and flowers. I think they use them for salves, incense, tea, that sort of thing. The plants don't always need to be fresh, but I do try to bring an assortment of newly picked flowers when I can. That day I'd packed boxes full of chamomile, and linden, thyme, mint, lilac, hollyhock, milkweed. And we don't need to list all of them, do you? No, I think we're good. Yes, please do. List all of them. This exchange is what the prosecution originally wanted you to testify about, right? I think it's still important we hear the details. Isn't the whole the victim was planning a murder part of your argument kind of irrelevant now? So what? I still want to hear it. You aren't going to backtrack on your argument now, are you? If I had to, I'd do it with good reason. Hey, break it up now. Sorry. All I saw was a brief exchange. The victim tapped Pearl on the shoulder, they murmured something, and they went to the other car. That's all. Wonder what they were talking about. Pearl said it had something to do with the channeling the victim had requested. What was the victim really thinking that day? I'd have to find out if I want to solve this case, aren't I? And then while I was checking on the flowers, the train suddenly came to a careening halt. Is there any reason you need to check on your shipment? When we were about to arrive at the station, I just wanted to get ready to unload everything. Usually have to bring all the flowers to the herbery myself. But sometimes I let Mr. Season handle small parcels. He gets a little discouraged when he can't do anything. Poor guy. Every living being needs a reminder of their worth. That old man is no different. I suppose that's true. Perhaps you should thank me and not the other way around. Are your metaphors really adding to this case at all? If you always focus on the value of things, so that's a no. That's a no. Why am I still standing here? Why are we still here? Just to suffer? Was it Mr. Rails who got you out of the back car? If someone had died, I was going to waltz out of there myself. He showed me out of the train, and we met the police and gave them our statements. Did you see our client at the time? We exchanged glances, yes. She was with the officers. Don't worry, me and Mr. Rails made sure they didn't mistreat her. Thanks, but I wasn't worried. Come on now, Mr. Justice. Children are like flowers in a way. Even a small change in environment can have an untold effect on them. Isn't Pearl nearly an adult? You're referring to an announcement over the intercom, right? Yes, Mr. Rails made sure to personally inform me of our murder situation. Told me to wait in the cargo car until the police arrived. It's very sweet of him. I wouldn't say you were personally informed. It was an intercom announcement. But there weren't any other passengers on the train at the time, were there? Okay, I guess you were technically personally informed. Tickets have to mean something. Yet the way those fingerprints are a coincidence. Well, then all I can do is try to find out what they mean. The best way to do that is to chip away at her defenses. She can only lie for so long. Hopefully. Okay, I'm lost. Oh, okay. Shears, can you repeat what was just said? Alright. No, I mean what you said, not what I said. Oh, sorry, my bad. Oh, look, don't look at me like that. You know exactly what you were doing. I don't know what was happening until Mr. Rails made his announcement. This again. I want the court to recall something that was said at the trial yesterday. Oh, he made 2 announcements. As soon as I recovered from the crash, he made an announcement to the passengers. After I'd apprehended the defendant, I called the police. I made an announcement. Oh. So she had to have known what was going on with Pearl. I explained the situation. I told them I was going to turn the emergency power back off in order to preserve the crime scene. In his testimony, Mr. Rails mentioned that he used the intercom twice. So why did you only mention the second time? What? Well, witness? Don't well witness me. Isn't this your testimony? You have to defend it. I want to see you succeed after all, dear. So argue your case, will you? Don't trust me, Miss Shears. This has been a very successful trial so far. You've been letting the defense control it the whole time. Don't you know what success is? Miss Shears, do you have an explanation for yourself or not? I didn't know I was supposed to mention every little thing. Why go out of your way to mention the second announcement and not the first? Tell me, Miss Green Thumb, what was that announcement about? Well, it was about the crash, wasn't it? What did he say? Well, the train just crashed. I was panicking. Come on now, consider my situation. Even plants can get stressed if they don't have brains. So you don't remember? I'm sorry. Don't you know why I think you don't remember? You weren't on the train in the first place, were you? Dear, please don't. Don't say that. You're going to make a fool of yourself. Objection! She's right. You should get too excited, Mr. Justice. Uh-oh. Just when we thought we might have been getting somewhere. It all comes crashing down. That was a contradiction that kind of made sense afterwards. It's a like if you got here all in one go, you might have remembered that, but I didn't. But fair enough. I'm enjoying the three member defense team. Unexpected face turn, but here we go. Next time, see what happens then.